Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Bharinishwara, Radha Bharinishwara Radhe. Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra, Jaya Sudarshana. Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Vishnupada Paramahamsa Prabhupada Stotra Sada. His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki, ISKCON BBT Samstapakacharya Srila Prabhupada ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki, Jai Vishnupada Paramahamsa Prabhupada Stotra Sada. His Divine Grace Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Maharaj ki, Ananta Kodi Vaishnava Vrinda ki, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki, Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki, Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gop Gopnath Sham Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan ki, मधुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय, जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय, मायापुर नवदीप धाम की, गंगा माई यमुना माई की जय, भक्ति देवी की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की. All glories for assembled devotees, all glories for assembled devotees, all glories and glories for assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. So welcome once again. Unfortunately, the projector is not ready to display today's verse, so I will start. You have on the phone, right? Everyone will have on the phone. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यमीश्वरम्. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 6. Brahma satisfies Lord Shiva. Sloka number 42 to 44. So 41 to 44. Yeah, 41 to 44. Because Jagasashi Prabhu took 40. So Sloka 41. Tata pare siddha gana maharshibir. Tata pare siddha gana maharshibir. ये वै समन्तात् अनुनीललोहितम् ये वै समन्तात् अनुनीललोहितम् नमस्कृतः प्राह शशाङ्कशेखरम् नमस्कृतः प्राह शशाङ्कशेखरम् कृतप्रणामं प्रहसन्निवात्मभू कृतप्रणामं प्रहसन्निवात्मभू तथा परे सिद्धगणा महर्षिभिर् ये वै समन्तात् अनुनीललोहितम् नमस्कृत प्राह शशाङ्कशेखरम् कृत प्रणामं प्रहसन्निवात्मभू. तथा परे सिद्धगणा महर्षिभिर् ये वै समन्तात् अनुनीललोहितम् नमस्कृत प्राह शशाङ्कशेखरम् कृत प्रणामं प्रहसन्निवात्मभू. तदा तगणा महर्षिभिः नमस्कृत प्राह शशाङ्कशेखरम् प्रणामं प्रहसन्निवात्मभू. तदा तगणा महर्षिभिर् अनुनीललोहितं ये वै समन्तात् अनुनीललोहितम् नमस्कृतः प्राह शशाङ्कशेखरम् कृत प्रणामं प्रहसन्निवात्मभू. माताजी. तथा परे सिद्धगणा महर्षिभिर् ये वै समन्तात् अनुनीललोहितम् नमस्कृत प्राह शशाङ्कशेखरम् कृत प्रणामं प्रहसन्निवात्मभू. तदा परे सिद्धगणा महर्षिभिर् ये वै समन्तात् अनुनीललोहितम् नमस्कृत प्राह शशाङ्कशेखरम् कृत प्रणामं प्रहसन्निवात्मभू. So translation: all the sages who were sitting with Lord Shiva, such as Narada and others, also offered the respectful obeisance to Lord Brahma. After being so worshipped, Lord Brahma, smiling, began to speak to Lord Shiva. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Purport: Lord Brahma was smiling because he knew that Lord Shiva is not only easily satisfied but easily irritated as well. He was afraid that Lord Shiva might be in an angry mood because he had lost his wife and had been insulted by Daksha. In order to conceal this fear, he smiled and addressed Lord Shiva as follows. So text 42, Brahmo Vaja. Jhane tvamisham vishwasya jagato yoni bijayo shakte shivasya chaparam yattad brahma nirantaram. Translation: Lord Brahma said, "My dear Lord Shiva, I know that you are the controller of the entire material manifestation, the combination of father and mother of the cosmic manifestation, and the supreme Brahman beyond cosmic manifestation as well. I know you in that way." We'll just recite it once time together. Brahmo Vacha Jane Tvam Isham Vishwasya Jagato Yoni Bijayo Shakte Shivasya Chaparam Yattad Brahma Nirantaram. Purport: although Lord Brahma had received very respectful obeisance from Lord Shiva, he knew that Lord Shiva was in a more exalted position than himself. Lord Shiva's position is described in Brahma Samhita. There is no difference between Lord Vishnu and Lord Shiva in their original positions. But still, Lord Shiva is different from Lord Vishnu. The example is given that milk in yogurt is not different from the original milk from which it is made. Text 43. Tvameva Bhagavanetach Shiva Shaktyo Swarupayo Vishwam Srijasi Pashyatsi Kridan Urna Pathoyata. Translation: my dear Lord, you create this cosmic manifestation, maintain it and annihilate it by expansion of your personality, exactly as spider creates, maintains and winds up its web. Purport: in this verse, the word Shiva Shakti is significant. Shiva means auspicious and Shakti means energy. There are many types of energies of the Supreme Lord and all of them are auspicious. Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwara are called Guna Avataras or incarnation of material qualities. In the material world, we compare these different incarnations from different angles of vision. But since all of them are expansions of the Supreme Auspicious, all of them are auspicious. Although sometimes we consider one quality of nature to be higher or lower than another. The mode of ignorance of Tamoguna is considered very much lower than others. But in higher sense, it is also auspicious. The example may be given herein that the government has both an educational department and criminal department. An outsider may consider the criminal department inauspicious, but from the government's point of view, it is as important as the education department, and therefore the government finances both departments equally without discrimination. Text 44. Tvameva dharmartha dughabhipatte Dekshena sutrena sasarjitadhvaram Tvaiva loke vasitascha setavo Yan brahmana shraddhadade dridhavrita. Translation: my dear Lord, your Lordship has introduced a system of sacrifices through the agency of Diksha, and thus one may derive the benefits of religious activities and economic development. Under your regulative principles, the institution of the four varnas and ashramas is respected. The Brahmanas therefore vow to follow the system strictly. Purport: the Vedic system of varna and ashrama is never to be neglected, for these divisions are created by the Supreme Lord Himself for the upkeep of social and religious order in human societies. The Brahmanas, as the intelligent class of men in society, must vow to steadily respect this regulative principle. The tendency in this age of Kali is to make classless society and not observe the principles of Varna and Ashrama is a manifestation of an impossible dream. Destruction of the social and spiritual orders will not bring fulfillment of the idea of a classless society. One should strictly observe the principles of Varna and Ashrama for the satisfaction of the Creator. For it is stated in Bhagavad Gita by Lord Krishna that the four orders of social system, Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Shudras, are his creation. They should act accordingly to the regulatory principles of the institution and satisfy the Lord. Just as different parts of the body all engage in the service of the whole. The whole is the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his Virat Rupa or universal form. The Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Shudras are respectively the mouth, arms, abdomen and legs of the universal form of the Lord. As long as they are engaged in the service of the complete whole, their position is secure. Otherwise, they fall down from their respective position and become degraded. Namo Vishnupataya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimade Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Vashati Deshatarane Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So there are many points Srila Prabhupada has mentioned in the purport. I don't know how far we will be able to discuss everything. We will see. So I just want to take you back a step. We do a Simhavalokana in which what is happening here? If anybody can remember, where are we at this point of time? Yeah. So Lord Brahma is taking demigods to Lord Shiva. Why? Some mishap, some anarthas have happened. Daksha's sacrifice. Daksha is killed. Okay, it started with offense. Daksha is killed, followed by Sati, also immolated herself. And then, now, Lord Shiva, he took out his anger and he destroyed Daksha as well as the sacrifice. And also, Lord Shiva's associates, they even did something which is not very positive in terms of dharma. They stopped Brahmanas from doing yajna. So what is to be done? Now the situation is not very good. It is a tense atmosphere. So what Brahma, he told is the Devi Devatas, they said, this is not good thing. No, you did not do the right thing. You are also the reason why Lord Shiva got angry. So Lord Brahma, along with all the chief Devatas, as well as the Pitras, he is going and trying to pacify Lord Shiva. So verse 41 to 44, if you look at, there are different themes you can see. Brahma's diplomatic approach, which is 41. He goes, he smiles. Then once he sees Lord Shiva, he starts glorifying Lord Shiva. And third, 43, if you look at, he talks about what is the position. The cosmic functions are controlled by. You are in charge. And once he glorifies Lord Shiva, then he says, why is that he came there? There is one more thing. He says, you should uphold dharma and social order. Lord Shiva, it is you. So this is how the themes going from one after another. In Srimad Bhagavatam, if you look at, it is absolutely about glorification of Krishna in every verse. Every akshara is glorification of Krishna. But then if you look at Srimad Bhagavatam with another angle, you can also see that there are so many failures which happens in Srimad Bhagavatam. Can you imagine some of the failures which happen in Srimad Bhagavatam? Continuously, if you look through the Srimad Bhagavatam, so many failures are happening. Which are the failures which happens in Srimad Bhagavatam? Any ideas? Yeah, even the starting, Parishit is cursed. So, failure plus curse. This is, you find a lot of theme in that. Repetitively. The starting itself is that. What other themes you can think about when it comes to failure and curse? Arjuna losing to the Kiratas, right? Okay, again failure. Gajendra's failure. Indradubna, he was in previous life. And there is another character. 3 times he takes birth. Jadabarda, again failure. Up from the stage of Jadabarda. From the stage of Bhava, he fell down. So repetitively you find there are so many cases. You look at the pastimes of Pururava, failure, right? Yayati, failure. Continuously so much failures. How do you connect with that? After the failure you find out that they rise up. There is glory after that. It is not that they are blaming this such a situation happened, but all these devotees, after some time they rise up. Then we understand the real glory of these devotees. Srila Prabhupada sometimes mentions this, right? How do you understand the greatness of a person? When the person goes through difficult situations in his life, and how he transforms without change, then you understand that person is actually special, glorious. So Lord Brahma is advising the Devas, you did not do the right thing. Now you should go and beg forgiveness from Lord Shiva. So begging forgiveness, if you look at Durvasa also, one of the difficult problems which we face in the modern society is we have committed something wrong. How do we beg forgiveness? Is it easy to beg forgiveness? It's very difficult, right? Both, if you look at begging forgiveness and giving forgiveness, is difficult. So what could be the cause of that stop us from begging forgiveness? Ego, we all know. Ego is the reason. So ego stops us. So ego is also known as the false ego, right? So the false ego stops us from begging. What happens if you beg forgiveness? Ego is affected. But is there something else which stops us from begging forgiveness other than the ego? Lack of humility, yes, absolutely. We feel we are right. Why should I? Because I did not commit anything wrong. But what could be another reason if from the material point of view? Pride. Pardon, Prabhu? Superiority. We don't want others to be superior than us. Right? We always think that I am superior. Even though our philosophy we says that Gobi Bhartru Padakavalayor Dāsā 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 and Dāsā. We feel that even among basically I am just looking at me. I am not looking at all the devotees here. So you feel that most of the time you feel you are superior to others. And you don't want to lose that superiority. You don't want to come down. So this is actually a block for a devotee to advance in his spiritual life. You think that others can also exploit us over a period of time, because the moment you come down, what others will do? Others will get on top of you, right? You may not like it. But when Brahma is telling the Devatas, see, you didn't do the right thing. So Devatas accept it. And Devatas are coming along with Lord Shiva, with Brahma to beg forgiveness. So that means there is a mass delegation coming along with Lord Brahma. It's a diplomatic mission. There is a damage control. It has happened. And we are now in Kailasa. And who is there with Lord Shiva? Because in Brahma, along with Brahma, you can see Indra is there, all the Devi Devatas are there. Who is there with Lord Shiva? All the sages. But specifically, if you look at 2-3 verses back, you can see Narada Muni is there. Sanat Kumara is there. So liberated sages, Sanaka, Sanatana, Sanandana and Sanat Kumara. Kuvera is there. Narada Muni is there. Guhyakas and Rakshasas. and saintly persons who are Siddhas and Maharishis. So these perfected beings are there, they are listening to Lord Shiva. So this is the situation. So we are all blessed that we have reached that place known as Kailasa, and we are getting an audience of these devotees. All the Mahajanas are there, like most of the Mahajanas. There is Lord Shiva is there, Sanat Kumara is there, Narada is there, Brahma is there. So very rarely we get such an association, right? You don't have most of the Mahajanas coming to one place. Most of the time we get maximum one or two. So this is a very wonderful occasion. So Brahma's delegation, they arrived there. And what happened when Brahma saw Lord Shiva? Brahma in the material sense is the father of Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva, in the previous sloka you saw that Lord Shiva was in meditation. Which was a similar situation when he offended, or I would say Daksha got offended. When Daksha got offended, what was the situation? Lord Shiva was actually engaged in meditating on the Supreme Lord. Here also, when Brahma is coming, you can see the same instance. Lord Shiva is what? He is meditation. He is in dhyana, as the previous sloka says. But even though he was in that meditation, he came and paid obeisance to Lord Brahma. And then Brahma, Prabhupada says, even though it is in the verse, it says, Prahasan Niva. Brahma smiles and speaks. And then purport says, why is Brahma smiling? Because Brahma is afraid. And why is Brahma afraid? Because Brahma is thinking that Lord Shiva is angry. But we know before that Lord Shiva is actually without anger. He is sitting along with all the devotees and discussing. But Brahma is feeling that he is wronged. He also feels that he is wronged. That's why he is feeling that that fear inside him. So Brahma, what he is doing? He is smiling, looking at Lord Shiva. And two names are significant if you look at this sloka of in Srimad Bhagavatam. So, Neela Lohitam, Yevai Samantat Anuneela Lohitam, Namaskrita Praha Shashanka Shekaram. You know what is Neela Lohitam? Blue and red. What does it signify? Neela Lohitam. Yeah, Prabhu, in one sense, if you look at through the angle of love and affection, yes, Krishna. But on other sense, when Lord Shiva was born at that point of time, when Lord Shiva came out from the eyebrows of Lord Brahma, he came as Neela Lohita. And it is described in that sloka, I think in 3.12.7, it is mentioned, he was Neela. Neela means blue or dark, and Lohita means reddish. What does reddish mean? Neela is what? Neela is associated with Tamoguna, and red is associated with Rajoguna. So symbolism is that Lord Shiva, if you see in that angle, Tamo and Rajas, what can you expect from that person? If I go and going to meet a person who is very angry, very, very Rajasic and, in Tamasic, what will be my mood? I will be fearful. But then, in the sloka, there is two other words which is coming. What is known as? Namaskrita Praha Shashanka Shekaram. What do you mean by Shashanka Shekaram? Moon. Okay. One who carries the moon. So moon also, if you look at, there are some connection with Daksha. What is the connection with moon with Daksha? Son-in-law, right? Yeah. But Daksha cursed moon also, right? Why? Moon was spending so much time with Rohini. And then Daksha cursed. Come on, you have 27. But why you are showing special affection to one? He cursed. And where did the moon take shelter? Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva blessed somebody who was cursed by Daksha. And what is the other aspect of moon? So Nilalohita is anger and tamas. So what does the moon do to reduce the anger? Soothing, right? Yes, absolutely right. So even though there is Nilalohita, still there is Shashanka Shekhara. So moon, the Lord Brahma is also thinking that since it is Shashanka Shekhara, what will happen? The moon will actually make Lord Shiva cool. So when you look at Srimad Bhagavatam verses, each and unfortunately we are not, we don't have that sense of Sanskrit. We only look through the eyes of English. But devotees who have looked at the verses from the point of Sanskrit, they love that. So one thing which we need to understand that when the silent reminder is that Lord Shiva will protect anyone who Diksha is against. And the takeaway for us is importance of respect and etiquette. Even Devatas respect each other. Whether it is Lord Brahma respecting Lord Shiva or Lord Shiva is respecting Brahma, there is always mutual respect. And whenever there is some mistake which is happening in between, there is always empathy. There is always the way in which people try to correct it. So the first thing when somebody does a mistake is that you go and glorify the other person, right? You cannot go and ask forgiveness immediately. What Brahma is showing is that he is establishing the Shiva Tattva. He is glorifying Lord Shiva. He says, Jane Tvam Isham Vishwasya. You are the Lord of the Vishwa. Entire Vishwa, you are the Lord. He also says, Isham. Isham means he is a controller. So he is the Isham, controller of this world. And he also says, Jagataha Yoni Bijayo, of the world, the womb and the seed. What does it mean, the womb and the seed? So let us understand that Brahma knows Lord Shiva, Brahma knows Lord Vishnu also. But he is now in Kailasa along with Lord Shiva's associate. And the way in which he is addressing Lord Shiva, you can say, sometimes in Srimad Bhagavatam, when devotees glorify others other than Lord Vishnu, they sometimes do extra glorification, which may not be actually suitable for that particular personality. For example, you may see that Bhagavan is addressed not only to Lord Vishnu, that term may be addressed to even saints, even sages also, Bhagavan, even Narada. And if you look at the pastime of Krishna's Namakarana Samskara, Nanda Maharaj calls Bhagavan to our Garga Muni also, right? So when he comes, he says Bhagavan. So it is sometimes they do an extra praise. How do we understand that? We should understand that they are looking at the non-difference between the Lord and the devotee. Okay, the Ajintya Bheda Bheda Tattvam comes into play there. And we should also understand when Lord Brahma is glorifying, he also looking at Lord Shiva's original position as Sadashiva. So that is one kind of an explanation we can look at. Secondly, we can think that since Lord Shiva is in midst of all his associates, it is natural for Brahma to glorify him like that. Jagata Yoni Bijayo. So he implies that he is both the efficient cause. So we know Karana, right? You heard about Sarva Karana Karana. What does it mean by Karana? Cause. What are the different causes which we explain? Okay, the next verse we will see that. There is efficient cause and there is the material cause. So what is the efficient cause here? He says that Lord Shiva is the efficient cause, father producing the seed. And who is the material cause? Durga, Mother Durga. So most of the time, if you look at the philosophy of the Vedic system, they talk about the instrumental cause, efficient cause, and they also talk about the material cause. Have you heard about these before? And they have given different analogies, like the potter and the wheel and the clay, right? So look at this example of potter making pot. So what are the things required for that? You need a potter, right? What else you require? You need wheel, you need clay, okay, and you need that, what is that instrument? The wheel, right? Who is the efficient cause? The potter. Yeah, potter is the efficient cause. He doesn't transform, okay? He is actually using, you think that there is an instrument cause which is a wheel, and he is taking the clay and transforming the clay to a pot. So sometimes in Vedic understanding they merge both the instrument and the efficient cause into one. Okay, this is the way in which the philosophically they merge it. So here Lord Shiva is being addressed as the efficient cause, who is the father. So what does the efficient cause does? He wills. He first of all, he's willing. We know what he wills. He has got that desire. And who uses that? Bija is given to mother Sati or Parvati. And sometimes if you look at the followers of Shiva, they also glorify Lord Shiva as the source of both Shiva and Shakti also. That's why in the sloka it is mentioned Shakti Shivasya cha Param. So Brahma is telling you are beyond Prakriti, the illusory manifested world. You are also beyond your role as Lord Shiva. You are not Shiva just which I see. Beyond this you exist as a Gunavatar of Lord Vishnu. And who is that Vishnu? Who is that Shiva? He says Yattat Brahma Nirantaram. So Brahman, he is telling you are Brahman. As devotees you may feel that what does it Brahman signifies? So sometimes you look at Sri Vaishnava philosophy. For them, when they say Brahman, it is also Lord Vishnu. So they don't say that Brahman is separate. They understand it as part of Vishnu. So, and here it says, you are also Brahma Nirantaram. And this aligns with if you look at Lord Shiva's position in Brahma Samhita. Who is Lord Shiva in Brahma Samhita's understanding? Can we ask this question that Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu, they are separate entities? Okay. Yeah? They are not separate. Actually they are one. But they are separate in another sense. Why? Because he is transformed into Lord Shiva. So Vishnu and Shiva is one, but there is a transformation which has happened in which he transformed himself into Lord Shiva. And Brahma Samhita 5.45 which says this, how? The milk and curd example. And what does Bhaktivedanta Swami Thakur explains in that? If you look at verse number 7 and verse number 8, 9 and then 45, he says Lord Shiva, how he is emanating. Where he is emanating initially? From Lord Vishnu's forehead. So, okay, in Brahma Samhita it's mentioned is emanating from Lord Vishnu's forehead. Okay, and how it is explained? Okay, it's explained that you might have read the dim halo of reflection of Lord Vishnu's glance. You heard that word? The dim halo of the reflection of Lord Vishnu's glance. What does it mean? Dim halo of the reflection of the Lord Vishnu. So we know this statement, right? Mahavishnu glances at Prakriti and then creation starts. So when Mahavishnu glances, can Mahavishnu glance directly at Prakriti? He doesn't touch Prakriti, but can he glance directly at Prakriti? No. Once time I heard one of the lectures of Bhagavad Swami Maharaj, he says, when Lord Mahavishnu, when he looks at Prakriti, he doesn't directly look. The looking aspect is actually, the glance is first given to Ramadevi. And Ramadevi transforms that and gives to Lord Shiva. And Ramadevi's reflection is Prakriti, okay, Durga. So when he is glancing, the glance is spiritual. Okay, when Mahavishnu's glance, the glance is spiritual. But what happens is that from that emerge a dim halo of reflection. So there is a spiritual glance which is a pure light, and then there is a reflected light which is coming from that. Why it is mentioned as reflective light? I would like to take what Bhaktivedanta Swami Thakur says. He says, Shambhu is not a second godhead other than Krishna. The supremacy of Shambhu is subservient to that of Govinda, hence they are not really different from each other. But the non-distinction is established by the fact that just as milk treated with acid turns into curd, so Godhead becomes subservient when he himself attains a distinct personality by addition of a particular element of adulteration. And what is this adulteration? This is interesting. The said adulterating principle is constituted of a combination of stupefying quality of the deluding energy. You know what it means, stupefying quality? Okay, there are three things. What is this adulteration principles which makes Shambhu? One is the stupefying quality of the deluding energy. You know what is deluding energy, right? Maya. Okay, so this is Maya. Stupefying means it is tamoguna, because Maya, what it does, because of the tamoguna, it pulls you down. That is called stupefying quality of deluding energy. Then he says the quality, so first is Maya, the second is non-plenitude of the marginal potency. I went and searched exactly what it means, the non-plenitude of marginal energy. In simple terms, non-plenitude means limited. Okay, marginal energy or tadastha shakti is limited. So first is what? Stupefying quality, which is Maya. Then marginal potency is applied to that. And then a slight degree of the ecstatic cognitive principle of the plenary spiritual potency. Actually it is simple, but the Bhaktivedanta Swami Thakur's words become, so I again searched what it means. What is the ecstatic cognitive principles of the Supreme Lord? Hladini and Samvit. Okay. So what Lord Shiva is having is, he has a portion of this Hladini and Samvit potency, plus little marginal potency, plus this deluding potency, which is the adulteration of Lord Shiva. This is why when we say that Lord Shiva, is he Vishnu? Yes. But is he Jiva? No. But is he completely Vishnu? No. That is why Shambhu Tattva is actually a different category in himself. So from this understanding, we look at and say that yes, Lord Shiva, you are actually a separate Tattva, but non-different. Coming back to our lecture. So taking shelter of Lord Shiva, he talks about the auspicious aspect of Lord Shiva. And then we will discuss only the spider aspect analogy. And then in Upanishads, always they talk about the spider analogy. Because what is spider analogy means, like Lord Shiva, all the creation happens from Lord Shiva, is like a spider creating the universe. And where is this universe coming from? Within himself. In the potter sense, if you look at the potter and the clay, where is the clay coming from? Outside. But in the spider, where is the silk, or what is it called? The web, where is the web coming from? It is coming from himself. So he's telling, Brahma is glorifying Lord Shiva, is telling that your course of both the material course as well as the efficient course. Unlike the clay, the material course and the efficient course is actually present within Lord Shiva. This is how he explains. And then he also says that even Shakti, which is a material spirit, is also coming from you. The transformation. So you create, you protect, and you destroy. Even though which Lord Shiva does is only destruction, but still he is glorifying and he is telling that you are the person. And in the final verse he is telling the dharma has been created by you. The sacrifices also have been created by you. But now you have stopped it. What happens when the sacrifice is stopped? Because sacrifices are meant for satisfying Lord Vishnu. The Varnashrama is disturbed, and this will not be pleasing to Lord Krishna. So you please reinstate it. So what Brahma is trying to pacify is Lord Shiva by reminding Shiva that he is the one who has established the system. Yajna established by him. The Dharma, Artha Kama Moksha was established by him. So you please make sure that this is not agitated. You please protect that. So the moment you neglect Dharma, what happens is that the society will go haywire. So that's why he is telling, please. So after glorification, he is telling that you please reinstate that. So in this commentary of Sridhar Swami, he says that Lord Shiva also creates so many scriptures for our understanding. For example, Satvada Tantra has been created by him. So many Pancharatras have been created by him. So he praised Lord Shiva as that, please, why don't you stop this and then reinstate it. This is a prayer which he is putting in front of Lord Shiva. Hare Krishna. So thank you so much. We are almost on time. Sorry, anything further you would like to add or any comments? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. These days we have, even though we don't understand English, we are tools to understand English, Prabhu. So there are instruments which we can use to understand English. Thank you so much, Hare Krishna. Girandraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Thank Gaur Premanande.
Hare Krishna. We thank Prabhuji by one time chanting Hare Krishna Mantra. Hare Krishna, Hare